Sometimes people wonder what the most important thing to have in your life is, whether that be, you know, a good amount of money, whether that be a good sense of self-abundance, which plays into my my point here as well, or like a good circle of friends, a good a good career, something that makes you happy. All of those kinds of things. Maybe some good direction with a job. But when I start to think about it more, and the more I develop relationships around myself, the more I connect myself with the deeper meaningful connections with other people, with other just activities in my life, I begin to realize that it all stems from love. It all just comes from love, and I don't mean specifically romantic love or any kind of love, just love in itself. Like just love for yourself, love for friends, love for family, love for the thing you're doing, love for food, love for the thing you're drinking right now, and maybe love for this video because you like it so much. But I began to realize, just not that I never knew, but I've begun to realize more and more that truly so much of the good in our lives that we can bring ourselves and we can bring other people just stems from nothing but love, whether it be shown in different ways, and you can label it differently through like kindness, compassion, accommodation, all that kind of jazz. But the general point, the general umbrella kind of covering it all is love. And all these different things fall onto the umbrella. But I think it's important that we truly recognize within ourselves that a lot of the things in our life, good or bad really as well, stems from love. Now, one of the more important kind of forms of this love is self-love. And like I was saying earlier, the abundance of self-love. You'll see many people say that before you can love anyone else, you need to love yourself. And they're not wrong. Because before you've had the time to really be with yourself and really speak with yourself in a sense and see yourself in the mirror, kind of. I like to use that analogy a lot when I feel like for a long time I haven't been in touch with myself. I ask myself, when was the last time I looked in the mirror? And not in a sense where I haven't looked at my looks at all, I haven't touched up on any of that, but in the sense that I haven't really sat down in a while. I haven't sat down and wrote about myself in a while. I haven't just thought about myself in a while and spread myself out on kind of a canvas and just look at it. And if I go too long without doing that, I start to feel almost lost. And I ask myself, when was the last time I looked at myself in the mirror? And developing that self-identity, developing that self-love for yourself and the abundance of said self-love is a huge step towards becoming the person you're meant to be, and a huge step towards becoming versatile in everything you do. And back to the relationship aspect, once you love yourself and once you become just this powerful individual through the abundance of your love, your self-love, a relationship comes easy. Now, I don't mean girls or guys just come flown over and they're all over your shoulder and you're not pimping them out, but like, I mean the fact that when it does come, you'll be able to know what you want and what's meant for you and what's right for you and what feels right. And maybe the next relationship or your first relationship that comes later on doesn't feel right for you anymore, and you need to be out of that. But thanks to your abundance of self-love and knowing yourself and caring about yourself enough to the point where you're like, you know what, this isn't for me. I need to leave this situation. I need to get out of this, and it's not making me happy anymore. Just through the self-abundance, the love, you begin to recognize all these different things. And now it doesn't even just apply to a relationship, like I said. It applies to so much different aspects of your life. For example, things like my dance. Without the self-care I give myself and the self-love and just the love I provide in general for the art and the culture of it, I don't know where I'd be with it, you know? But because I've developed an attachment to it, such a connection through the love of it, I've been able to just do it all the time, and it always makes me happy. It's like an escape, but if I don't have anything to escape from, it's just fun. You know, it feels like me, and to be able to give it that love, to vest that love within it, and to almost kind of receive love back from it in a way, if you can get what I'm getting, if you can smell what I'm stepping in. For all that, it's an amazing feeling, truly. And I think that everyone, every single person should be trying to develop that abundance of love in their life through whatever means. It, again, it doesn't have to be related to a person, a group of people. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It can be something that maybe someone else thinks is so trivial. You know, maybe you love building computers. You like studying a lot. Maybe you love your homework. Like, stick to that. If you think about it and it really makes you happy, and you really get this like kind of joyous, kind of whimsical feeling, little rosy cheeks when you smile about it. You love that thing, man, and you need to stick to that. And maybe whatever you love will begin to change form over time. Maybe at one point you think you want to study law, and then you sit in law and you realize, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe there's certain aspects you don't like about it, and you move on to business, and you really love business. And so you start to study business more, and you get more into it. And then maybe on your free time, you start to study psychology, starting to look more into the consumer kind of mentality. Because with business, you have to understand those kinds of things. But the point is, your love for something, just it'll change. Love is malleable, and it's a constant around us as well. And there's gonna be times where it just doesn't feel like that. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows all the time. And there's gonna be the times where it just feels your world and your environment will feel very devoid of love. And that's where the self-love comes in, where as long as you have that abundance, that huge just store of self-love for yourself, and that self-respect, and just the relationship you've developed with yourself through the affection you've given yourself, you are unbeatable, unstoppable, man. Of course, we all need a couple days sometimes. There is such thing as doing too much, and we all need to take a break sometimes. But if you truly invest in yourself, that affection and that love, and if you truly tend to yourself, I mean, like, what's gonna stop you? You know, your boss fires you at your job that you've been so reliable on, but you know what? You get fired, and you're like, well, you know, that really sucks. I don't have an income anymore. But, you know, I'm still here. I'm still healthy. I'm doing things that make me happy. And, you know, I like myself regardless of, like, I am not the sum. I am not the sum of these almost societal things. Like, a job is good to have, but I like to look at it that I am not the sum of my, say like my academic performance or my job. You know what I mean? That's not truly everything that's here. I am not worth just the number I receive on my page for a grade, or the number I see on the screen for a grade. I I'm so much more than that, and I know that. And if I were to lose everything now, I wouldn't lose everything because I would have myself, and myself is everything. And not in a narcissistic sense, but in a sense where, as long as I have a strong foundation with myself, and I truly treat myself like a friend, and I truly treat myself how I would like to treat anyone else, and how I would like to make anyone else feel appreciated and treated. You know, as long as I got that, I'm I'm unstoppable. I'm invincible. Cue the blue screen, invincible cut thing. If you've seen Invincible, you know what I'm talking about. It's whatever. Anyway, but like it really, like, I there's nothing much that can bring you down if you really have that strong foundation with yourself. And when I'm going through a tough time and I'm grappling with feelings, and I'm trying to process everything, that there's something that I like to tell people, that just to let them know that I'm going through something, but I'm still okay. I just say, you know, I'm okay, but I'm not good. You don't gotta be good all the time. But if you're okay, you're okay. That's all you need, man. And that's how I go about being more honest with people, without kind of telling them that I'm just in a rough spot, or I'm feeling really sad, and maybe I am. But I like to put it in the way that I'm not good, but I'm okay, because it kind of gives that idea to me and the person that I'm talking to actively, that I'm making it through this, no matter what it is, through the love I've vested in myself, and in the things I do. I'm making it through this slowly but surely, and I know that I will make it out the other side, no matter how I do, no matter whenever I do. It's gonna happen. Like, I'll be in the light. I'll be through that tunnel. But all in all, I think that it's just love, man. Like, it truly is all love. Like, there's so many other factors and emotions and things that play a positive part in your life, and are they can attribute to a better character and a better identity and better performance as a person. But I really think almost everything in our lives, and in other people's lives, and in the history of people, I truly think so many things have truly devoted, or not devoted, have truly derived from just love, whatever kind of love it might be. And of course, there's things breeded from hatred and anger, and there's all sorts of those things. But when you think about the biggest creations in the world, let's say the keyboard, right? The keyboard stemmed from somebody's love of a specific thing, to the point where they wanted to invent this. They loved the idea so much. They liked it, and they wanted to make it real, and they wanted to make it a reality. And then eventually other people picked up on that, put their own twist on it, because they loved the idea. You can see where I'm getting at here. It's the same with generations. Because my parents both loved each other at one point, I'm here now. And eventually, when I have children, it'll be because I loved another person and I made them real. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say is it's just all love, man. And you really got to pay attention to the importance of that. But yeah, um that's about it. And I'll see you guys later.